Hey folks, this is Cliff with CB Electric, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that's been discussed through contractors, electricians, DIYers, and that is, can 120 kill you? Okay, you always hear those expressions, oh, it's 120, do it alive, ain't gonna hurt you, just get a little shocked, just a little tingle. Well, in some cases, those tingles can be worse than others, but it can also kill you, all right? A lot of guys will talk about what kills you in electricity, and they'll be like, oh, it's the amps that kill you, or it's the voltage that kill you. It's actually a little bit of both. So it's more than that. So you got your voltage, you got your resistance, and you personally become a load. So just to give you kind of an idea, there's a little drawing here. I don't know if you can see it, but you have three little guys. You have your voltage, you have your amp guy, and you have your resistance guy. Okay, and the voltage guy is pushing the amps, the current of how smoothly everything goes, and the resistance guy is pulling on the pipe, making the pipe smaller, so it's like it's a harder resistance for the amps of the current to flow through smoothly. Okay, now if you're an electrician and you're in a panel box and you're touching things and you can get shocked, you know what I mean? But that all changes in different circumstances. So whether you are a young kid that just became an electrician and you have soft hands versus a guy that's been in the carpentry and doing drywall or brick and mortar for 30 years, his hands are all callous, so he would have more resistance in his skin than the kid that was typing all his life that just finally decided to change careers. It also makes a big difference if you're dry versus you're wet. It makes a huge difference. I've personally been dealing with stuff in a panel box where I've been dry. I'm like, oh, that kind of hurt, and then I've been wet, and you get hit, and it goes right up to your armpit, and you're like, wow. And you start asking yourself, am I okay? You know what I mean? I just had a friend post on another video that said the same thing, that she got shocked and she had to take a seat there for a second. But this is kind of like the number that's talked about in the electrical field, 0.01 or 10 milliamps, and that's kind of the number that can cause a disruption in your cardiac, your heart, and it can make it flutter. It can do something to you. You know what's happening. Anything above that, you start having a little bit more of an issue. It can cause burns, and your heart can just stop just like that. So 10 milliamps in the human body is a crap load, especially when you're dealing with residential electricity. But there's so many things at your disposal to do things safely. Just make sure you're wearing your PPE. There's so many companies out there that are dedicated solely on the DIYer, the electrician, the plumber, that offer tools and safety equipment to make your life easier and safer. There's really no reason for somebody to be doing electrical live at all. If you're in somebody's house and you're doing a light switch or working on the outlet, and you're like, I don't want to run all back out to my truck, or I don't want to shut off the breaker because I don't want that person to be upset with me. You know what? You're there to do something for them. A few minutes with no electricity ain't gonna hurt anybody's feelings. You need to make sure you're doing things safe, and there's whole companies out there that are out there at your disposal to give you PPE, whether it's safety glasses or your screwdrivers or anything, drills, that offer insulated equipment, or gloves, just for the circumstances that you do have to work on something live. You do have the option to have the right materials at your disposal. Okay, but in the circumstance you're working in a panel box or something like that, and you get like a little shock in your finger, that's not going to kill you. Okay, it's going to be like, ow, that hurt a little bit, and it's sometimes if you get a shock from your finger to your elbow, that's going to hurt. Yeah, you're going to feel it. You're going to get numb and tingly, and walk it off for a second, like, man. That kind of stuff. It all like I said back to before, it all matters the situation that you're in. You know, you don't want to be working electricity when you have a puddle of water on the floor. You know what I mean? Then obviously water and electricity does not mix. But you know, when you're touching something live and you touch something else that's metal or something else that's live, you know, that's when you start having some issues. When you have current, you know, going across your chest, and that's when you get back to the 10 milliamps or even more that, you know, you could die. So pay attention to what you're doing. Do the right thing. Turn the power off. Wear your PPE. There's you need to go home at night. If you got a family, you got a family that loves you and all that. You know, going out to make, you know, $75 or $100 and change a light switch isn't really worth wasting your life or killing yourself over. So do the right thing. Shut your power off. Wear your PPE, and just pay attention to what you're doing. I'm Cliff with CB Electric. Thanks for watching.